Picture this. It is 40 degrees Celsius outside in Beijing in late July. The cicadas are screaming, the air smells like baked stone, and someone has just set a chilled celadon bowl in front of you, piled high with cold golden wheat noodles, glistening with mahogany sesame paste, ribbons of cucumber matchsticks, blanched mung bean sprouts, a small drizzle of fiery red Sichuan chili oil, and a scatter of toasted sesame seeds. You pick up the chopsticks, you stir 3 times, and the first bite is nutty, tangy, garlicky, ice cold, slick, and exactly what your body has been begging for. This is liangmian, cold sesame noodles. Tonight, we walk through the actual recipe, ratio by ratio, gram by gram. I am joined by Mainland Chinese Chef Liu, 22 years cooking street food in Beijing's Wudaokou district, and Taipei-born food writer Mei Ling Chen.
凉面，我们说 we say 凉面. In Beijing, in Sichuan, in Henan, every region has different version. The dish you know in America, the cold sesame noodle from Chinese restaurant, it is most close to Beijing's summer street food version. We make in summer because too hot to eat hot food. The Chinese sesame paste, 芝麻酱, this is most important ingredient. 2 tablespoons, 60 gram per person. Not Japanese tahini. Chinese sesame paste is roasted darker, much more nutty, much more thick. You buy in glass jar at Asian market. Brand I use is Beijing Liu, very old company, 450 years old, founded 1600. We stir top oil into paste before measure. Then everything else is balanced. Soy sauce, vinegar, garlic, sesame oil, but the paste is the soul.
And Chef Liu is absolutely right about the paste. That is the soul of the dish. In Taiwan, we have our own version of liangmian, and it is a little bit different from the Beijing version. We use a yellow alkaline wheat noodle called youmian, which has a soft yellow color and a slight springiness from the sodium carbonate in the dough. In the Beijing version, the noodle is a white wheat noodle. Both work, but the texture is quite different. The Taiwanese version usually has more vinegar, Qingqiang black vinegar, 1 tablespoon, and we add more garlic, sometimes 2 cloves. We also love a small amount of peanut butter in the sauce, maybe 1 teaspoon, to make the sauce a little bit more rich and round. The Taiwanese version tastes more sweet tangy, the Beijing version more savory nutty. Tonight, Chef Liu will teach the Beijing recipe, but the principles are the same.
Okay, let me teach noodle. For 2 person, you take 200 gram dry thin Chinese wheat noodle, like Italian capellini thickness, but white. Brand I recommend is 寿桃牌, longevity peach brand, dry thin wheat noodle. Bring big pot of water to rolling boil, 100 Celsius, 212 Fahrenheit. Add 1 tablespoon salt. Drop noodle in, stir immediately so no stick together. Cook 3 minutes exactly, 3 minutes for thin noodle. If thick noodle, 4 minutes, no more. Then immediately drain into colander. Transfer to large bowl of ice water with many ice cube. Ice water is critical. Stop the cooking instantly. Set the texture. Make noodle very chewy, springy. 30 seconds in ice water. Then drain again very well. No water remain on noodle. Toss with 1 teaspoon neutral oil, peanut oil, or grapeseed so noodle do not stick together. Refrigerate 15 minutes before serve. Must be cold.
Now, the sauce. The Beijing classic ratio that Chef Liu just demonstrated, and that I also use at home, is this. For 2 servings, 2 tablespoons of Chinese sesame paste, that is approximately 60 grams. 1 tablespoon of light soy sauce, 15 milliliters. 1 teaspoon of dark soy sauce for color depth, 5 milliliters. 1 tablespoon of Qingqiang black vinegar, 15 milliliters. 1 teaspoon of granulated sugar, 4 grams. 1 small clove of garlic, very finely minced or grated on a microplane. 1 teaspoon of toasted Asian sesame oil, 5 milliliters. And a half teaspoon of Sichuan chili oil if you want some heat. And here is the critical step that most home cooks miss. You must thin the sesame paste with 2 to 3 tablespoons of warm noodle cooking water, whisking gradually until the sauce is the texture of melted chocolate. Too thick and it will not coat. Too thin and it will pool at the bottom of the bowl.
Now we assemble. Take cold noodle out of refrigerator. Put in chilled celadon bowl. Pour sauce over noodle, about 3 tablespoons per serving, 45 milliliter. Toss with chopstick or with hand wearing food safe glove. You must toss minimum 20 times. Every single noodle must be coated. This is difference between good liangmian and bad liangmian.
If sauce only on top, it is bad. Every strand must be deeply coated nutty mahogany color. Then top with 1/4 cup julienne English cucumber, very thin matchstick 3 mm wide, 60 gram. 1/4 cup blanched mung bean sprout, blanched 10 seconds only in boiling water, then ice bath, drain very well, 60 gram. 1/4 cup shredded poached chicken breast, optional but classic, about 70 gram. Final touch, 1 teaspoon toasted white sesame seed, 1 teaspoon thin sliced green scallion, drizzle of chili oil. Eat immediately while cold.
And the toppings deserve their own conversation. The cucumber, and this is important, must be julienned into matchsticks the same thickness as the noodle, about 3 millimeters wide. If you use a vegetable peeler or a box grater, the texture is wrong. The match between noodle and cucumber thickness is part of the eating experience. Mung bean sprouts must be blanched, never raw, only 10 seconds in boiling water, then immediately into ice water for 30 seconds. Raw sprouts can carry salmonella, so blanching is also critical for food safety, not just texture. The shredded chicken, Chef Liu and I both poach a single chicken breast in lightly salted water at a gentle simmer, 90 degrees Celsius, not a rolling boil, for 12 minutes, then rest off heat in the broth for 10 more minutes. Shred against the grain into thin threads. Cold sesame noodle is about texture contrast, slick noodle, crisp cucumber, snappy sprout, tender chicken, gritty sesame seed, all in one bite.
Last thing, temperature, eating, when. Noodle must be very cold, 10 degrees Celsius, 50 Fahrenheit, when served. Bowl also cold. Put bowl in freezer for 15 minutes before assemble. Sauce at room temperature, around 20 degrees Celsius. The contrast between cold noodle and room temperature sauce make the dish feel refreshing on hot day. In China, liangmian is summer comfort food. Eat in afternoon, sometime for lunch. We never eat in winter. Pair with a small cold dish, maybe smashed cucumber with garlic vinegar, pai huangua, or cold tofu with century egg. Drink Qingdao beer very cold, or jasmine iced tea. Eat very loud, slurp the noodle. This is correct way. Slurping cool the noodle in your mouth, also bring out aroma. American friend, do not be polite. Slurp.
3 takeaways. First, the soul of cold sesame noodles is Chinese sesame paste, jiang, 2 tablespoons or 60 grams per serving, thinned to a melted chocolate texture with 2 to 3 tablespoons of warm noodle cooking water. Not Japanese tahini, not peanut butter. Beijing Liu Biju brand, if you can find it. Second, the Beijing classic sauce ratio is 2 tablespoons sesame paste, 1 tablespoon light soy, 1 teaspoon dark soy, 1 tablespoon Qingqiang black vinegar, 1 teaspoon sugar, 1 clove minced garlic, 1 teaspoon toasted sesame oil, and a half teaspoon of chili oil if you like heat, all balanced and whisked smooth. Third, every component is about temperature contrast. Noodles boiled 3 minutes at 100 Celsius in salted water, then plunged into ice water for 30 seconds. Mung bean sprouts blanched 10 seconds and shocked. Chicken poached at 90 Celsius for 12 minutes and rested. Cucumber matchstick to 3 millimeters to match noodle thickness, all served in a chilled bowl at 10 degrees Celsius. Thank you, Chef Liu Jianhua. Thank you, Mei Ling Chen. Until next time.